Good morning, everybody. Joe is here. He'll be right back. He had to grab his coffee. I don't blame him, man. I completely understand. How's everybody doing? Welcome to everybody coming in from Piper Academy. I'm obviously still trying to take care of a few technical things here at the moment. I'll get to it. How's everybody doing today? Appreciate you being here. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, take that bell icon, click the all. You know the drill. And don't forget, smash up that like on the way in. Appreciate everyone for being here. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Bingo Bango's in the chat. There you go. How's it going? How's it going?
Going good. Busy morning, of course. Busy night. Busy, just everything right now. Loving it. Crypto's doing really nice. So
yeah, you must be. Listen, Joe messaged me at 3:30 this morning. He sent me a message, which I wouldn't. Yeah, I was out cold. But anyway, and he's like, listen, I've been up late. I'm gonna try and get some sleep. I set my alarm, and I'm like, okay, cool. He set his alarm. We're good to go. This guy is busy. Listen, today we got a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to be talking about the New Hampshire with their strategic Bitcoin reserve, Arizona with theirs. We're going to obviously look at the fear and greed index. We're going to look at the U.S. debt and the debt clock, the DOGE, and we're going to look at a few other things, including some follow-ups on stuff like Alex Mashinsky and Citizens for Sound Money. I'm not sure if Daniel's here in the chat. I know I was just talking to him right before going live, but he's trying to help out Alaska with their HB1. We talked about that a little bit on Friday night. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to spend too much time on it, Joe, but was Friday night not insane or what on Crypto on the Rocks?
Dude, super crazy insane. For one, just the company that we had, the people in the chat, and then we had a giveaway, which was crazy. And then a giveaway on top of that, which was insane. And then a giveaway on top of that, which was unheard of. And then possible more giveaways to come. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. It was nuts.
Absolutely. If you missed this last Crypto on the Rocks, man, you missed it. Again, as you could tell, if you were there, I was completely unprepared because I wasn't expecting it to even kind of go down the way it did. However, it worked out good. And for those who did win, putting together the spreadsheet right after this live stream. So you'll be hearing from me shortly. Okay, God willing. Knock on all kinds of wood here. All right, let's give a quick shout out to the chat, and then we'll get into it. We'll get into it. BC Port Corp in the house. Appreciate you being here as always. Alexandra G. Put those Mod Queen emojis in the chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here as always. Everybody from Piper Academy for that matter. Yes, what she said. Smash that like on the way on in here. And here we go. Jesse, Uncle Jesse in the house. Uncle Jesse emojis in the chat. Go right ahead. Is Kevin. Welcome. Appreciate you being here from Lakeland, Florida. Awesome. Florida. Gotta love it. And let's see who else we got here. We got A West in the house. A West was definitely a winner during Friday night's live stream. So yeah, you'll be hearing from me, my friend. You'll be hearing from me. Yes, love gold. Definitely loving the gold. Dylan is in the house. Dylan, appreciate you being here. Awesome. Excellent. And of course, automatic beats as always. Yes, exactly. All right. I guess we should probably get going here. We're been live for about 5 minutes and we haven't even talked about anything. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin first, and then Joe's going to take a look at the chart. So here we go. I'm sure you've all heard about this at this point right now. And Hampshire, first state to put in a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And I should point out that they also did made gold and silver legal tender. When I was talking to Daniel Diaz, he was pointing that out. Again, crypto channel focusing on crypto, although we love Daniel, don't misunderstand. But this is huge Bitcoin news, in my opinion. Joe, chime in on this, man. I mean, what are you thinking about this?
Yeah, in my opinion, and I've mentioned this before, any talk about crypto, especially in the positive light, is good because it's getting it out there in the public. The more people hear about it, the more it's going to be accepted, just like anything else. And I'm just really happy. I'm really happy with everything that's going on. So,
yeah, definitely super positive stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit more in 1 second about that. But I'll tell you what, I went to the Free State Bitcoin Digital Asset Conference last year and in New Hampshire, and I am looking very much forward to going there again this year because, man, it's going to be, I can't even imagine what the energy is going to be like there for that after this thing gets passed. This just got passed. Now, to that end, you and I, Joe, were talking about this prior in our last live stream. Arizona had the opportunity to basically be the first in the country. Instead, the governor, in my opinion, playing a little bit on the politic game, and they came in number 2. Although I should point out that here, this is, and I'll read it right here. The bill that was signed into law basically allows the state to keep unclaimed digital assets to establish a Bitcoin reserve fund. I mean, if you're doing self-custody, the state ain't going to be having any access to it. But I mean, again, remember, there have been recent changes where banks are now able to custody Bitcoin, that kind of thing. But to me, if that's how they're planning to find Bitcoin to put in this fund, all the more reason to make sure that you are definitely doing self-custody. Because again, as we always say, right? Not your keys, not your coins. Everybody here understands that. And yeah, just saying. AOS saying it was a great stream. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. And David in the house. Appreciate you being here, Dave. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So yeah, that's where we are right now with a lot of the biggest, in my opinion, Bitcoin news to be had. Arizona dropped the ball. New Hampshire came in from nowhere. And now we have the first state and the second state with strategic Bitcoin reserves. Just bam, there it is. Joe, let's go take a look at the fear and greed index. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. Fear and greed. Well, if I can find the right, there we go. No, did that not go? What is going on? There it is. There it is. This thing is not liking me. Piper, I think, sent over some of that Matrix stuff going on. He had some issues there at the beginning of his stream this morning. Anyway, fear and greed. Now, again, this resets. This one that I use right here resets in about 8 hours. But look at this. Greedy. People be greedy right now, Joe. And I don't know. It doesn't surprise me with the way we've had the price action recently. What about you?
Right. No, I completely agree. And there's one thing that I've been telling my community past 3 days now. It's like, guys, it's been great. It's been really fun. We're making all this money. I said, the feeling you're having right now is called euphoria. What happens when you feel euphoria? Normally it comes down. So,
amen.
Yeah, we've been doing our stop losses. We've been moving up our stop losses. The trades have continued to be great. So it's like, okay, we can enter this trade too, but unless you don't want to be into too many trades, but that's where the greed comes in. They get into all these trades, and then now that they're winning, the euphoria of man, I'm just making all this money. Let me put more money in, maybe not have a stop loss, or maybe have a stop loss double the percentage lower, so I don't get stopped out, so it runs up some more. Let me put more leverage in. Let me just go big. And then what happens when everybody's doing that? Boom, comes down. And all the gains you just did that whole week or the whole month or whatever it is, whole cycle, gone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would seem to me that if you're in so many trades and there's any kind of turn in the market, it's just, how do you keep up with it all? Even if you got stop losses set, I mean, you still, I don't know, it would be too risky. Too risky in my opinion, but what do I know? Hey, Gold Miner James in the house. Appreciate you being here. I just want to catch up a little bit here. Mike just coming by to hit that like button. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much. And of course, right here, Dylan keeping me honest and reminding me to tell everybody here that T.I. Joe is the best. I agree. Yeah. So bingo bangos in the chat, everybody. But we are going to be going to Joe's live stream right after we're done here. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to redirect you right on over there. And Dylan, thanks, man, for putting that in there. Yeah, appreciate you. Joe, are you ready? We'll go take a look at the Bitcoin chart before we get into the debt.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
All right. So you can see down here, we do have a stop loss that just got hit, of course, in profit. I believe this one's in profit. Most of ours are in profit. Bitcoin's coming down. When Bitcoin comes down, well, the market generally is coming down with it. We have two zones right here. We'll talk about more of that on my stream, but let's go ahead and go to a higher time frame. Let's go to a 4 hour just to kind of look and see just everything that we got. Let's go ahead and hide all this and boxes. I thought I was ready. Anyway, so let's come over here to this. What we're doing is we're looking at the overall picture. We're looking at the overall picture, and we're seeing that the market has been really nice to us the past, week or so. Been really nice. We had this on the daily time frame. Each candle represents a day. Starting about about the 8th of April, started coming up to the side and not retracing. We'd love to see price go up, retrace about 38-50% before continuation. Here went sideways for a little bit and then just exploded. And then here sideways and up a little bit and then exploded. And then I'm expecting, and I would love to see a rollover. Not only that, but look at this, guys. I mean, we are so close. We are so close. This is all-time high right here, 109. Well, about. Every exchange is going to be different. But we just call it 109.6. And we are right here, 105.8. That's really close. So because of this is where all the FOMO comes in. This is where all the, oh my gosh, all my coins are going to the moon. Let me put in more money and more money. And then when we get this rollover, because it's healthy, that's when everybody gets wrecked. And this is nothing right now. This is nothing. And I'm pretty sure right now, just at the beginning of the stream, I've already had 4 alerts go off. And that's just because prices are retracing. And when they retrace, it just means that, well, it's doing what it needs to do. And also make sure to have those stop losses. Make sure to, get into trades that have a better chance of course, winning, whether it's a setup or pattern, divergence, anything. Now, one thing I want to talk about really quick is divergence. If you see divergence on a Bitcoin or any coin for that matter, it's just because there was a very fast move. Like right here, there's a very fast move. I'm pretty sure on some time frame, there's going to be a divergence, bearish divergence, saying it might come down. And then when it does, we never know how far down it's going to go, whether it's going to go down, to this fair value gap on the daily, which probably about 99.8, or maybe this one on the daily, 89. I believe there's a CME gap around 91. So if it comes down here, it'll fill up both of those. But we just got to wait and see. But right now, I would expect the price to come down only because it's gone up. And what I do on my streams, I do this every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday and Sunday at 4. And then we do bonus streams. I show you how to trade in the most simplistic way. I mean, if you just dumb it down, take away all the indicators, take away all the divergence, take away everything. Trading is like a bouncing ball. If the price bounces up, can it go up forever? No, it's going to come down. So just literally think of that. Price goes up, price comes down. Price goes up, price comes down. Now, where it bounces, that's the difference. Is it going to bounce here at this level? And all these, you can just think of them as like floors or an area of a place where it might bounce. And it didn't bounce here. Okay, it went lower and it found a floor here. And it just kept on going. This right here, kind of like a slinky. Who knows the slinkies? Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with slinkies.
Yeah, baby.
Put a 0 That just means you're a youngster. You're a youngin. But here, this time looks like a slinky right here, just going down the steps. And then finally it stops. And then now it starts going up. So, but what goes up will come down. That's the only job it has. What goes up will come down. What goes down will go up, unless it's a rug. But whenever we're looking at this, nobody knows if it's going to come down in here or if it's going to come down, period. It could continue going up. It will go down when it's done going up. No matter what indicator you have, no matter what, anything that you have, FOMO can kick in right now. Let's just say the president does something, or a bill is passed, or a country does something, and people just start flooding in. We're not coming down because of FOMO. This is all driven by people buying and selling, volatility, volume, liquidity. That's all people. So this could go straight up until it stops. So and a lot of traders especially do not like the way I trade, because I break it down in, I think, super simple. It has to be complicated. No, it doesn't. If you just think about it the way I just mentioned it, and I don't have anything to sell you, there's not a special course you can buy to where it explains that what goes up will come down, what goes down will go up, and it's the rug. There's nothing you gotta. This is just, if you just think about it, have all your mentors just kind of, it's great to have mentors. It really is, and they can teach you a lot of things with the indicators and divergence and everything else. But use that in addition to common sense. Common sense. This is driven by people.
It's funny because LBC chiming in, and welcome LBC, chiming in exactly on what you were saying. Trump says something or whatever. There you go. So true right here. So true. So true. Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was it. I was already winding down. But yeah, man, when it comes to Bitcoin, right now I would expect a rollover. I was expecting it here, or rather I was expecting it around 94. And then now I'm expecting it right now. And we'll see. We'll see if it rolls over. And if it does, I'm prepared. The team's prepared. My YouTube viewers are prepared, because I'm mentioning this all the time, that we need to see the rollover. And if it happens, it might go to certain areas. So it's very important. Tune into my shows every day, and I'll show you this stuff for free.
And hang tight, because we're going there right after this. So we're going to go visit Joe, raid his stream. And Army Piper made it in the house. Yeah, videos. Poor Piper had some issues this morning, man, with everything. I was glad he finally got that stream going. So, and thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you for sending everybody here. Appreciate you. And yeah, what Jesse said. What's going on? Smash that like button. Smash it up. And of course, like I said, LBC is in the house. All right. So where are we going now? We're going to be talking the debt. We're going to be talking the DOGE, and then we're going to look at some other stuff that has come out over the course of the last few days. And we're going to end off taking a look at the Alaska bill, HB1, for Citizens for Sound Money, friend of this channel, and then some. So, all right. Whoops, I forgot to pull. Yeah. Details. It's a live stream. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see where we were when Joe and I were live last week. Let me bring this up full screen so you can see. I like to give you the comparison as to where we were to where we are when we look at the live debt clock. So 36,811 billion is where we were this time last week, and 396 billion on the DOGE clock. And I'll tell you what, like I said, this, if nothing else, we are consistent. 36,840 billion. So we're talking again right around that $29 billion mark with the increase in the debt, and 422 billion savings in the DOGE clock, again moving up still in that 27 billion dollar range. I guess there's something to be said for the consistency. I say it every week, something to be said for that. But I don't know. Bottom line is it's still 1,000% better than what it was even this time last year.
And
Man.
just thinking about what it could have been, dude, I'm telling you right
Oh,
now,
I know.
my blood pressure medicine, like I have to take it like 8 times a day, and it would be horrible. But yeah, it's I'm very happy from what is going on and what's being done. And pretty soon, you know, all the haters on why they are finding all this fraud and everything else, pretty soon that voice gets silenced because, well, I mean, you can only sound dumb for so long, you know. I mean,
Well, I don't know.
it's so dumb, you know, being mad at somebody who is finding millions upon millions of dollars being literally funneled. Like that is the biggest scam, biggest rug pull that I've ever seen, and it was a very highly coordinated, I
Yep.
guess, event
Facts.
because all these people were getting paid, and of course, you know that it had several levels because the judges were even saying, "Well, I don't think we should be doing this."
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Facts. Facts. Oh my goodness. Maybe that's another live stream.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
We talk about it like so often, and it's just like the news just keeps getting out there.
Yeah.
Listen, we were just looking at the live debt clock, right? And I want to point out that the training series that I'm doing that is premiering every Sunday night right after Billy Goat Tail, so 7 p.m. Eastern time. In about 2 weeks is going to be the interview that I did with Army Piper, where he talks about all these macroeconomic factors that you watch every single day on the Piper Academy Network. But one of the things he mentions in that interview is the debt that needs to be refinanced this year. The $9 trillion in debt that needs to be refinanced this year. And I'll tell you what, people are not really talking about that a lot anymore. So I'm excited to make sure that gets back up on everybody's radar because, man, whew, that's a lot of debt that's got to be refinanced. And at our current rates, not good at all. What's BC saying? If they actually touch Social Security like it needs to be, that DOGE clock would really go up. Well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, they've basically shown that, you know, Social Security isn't running out of money. They're just like, or they have been stealing it. So yeah, I get it. And Jesse is heading now. I get it, man. For you, dinner time. I understand. Appreciate you being here. Thank you always. Uncle Jesse emojis in the chat, please. Appreciate Jesse. All right, let's move on to this is related to the debt. And I thought Joe would appreciate this. So let me bring this up from the, what is it? Oh, man. Okay, I thought it was freezing up on me again. Those gremlins, I'll tell you what, are in the system. But from the Kabisi letter right here, interest payments on U.S. debt declined by $13.5 billion in Q1 of 2025 to an annualized 1.1 trillion, the lowest since Q2 of 2024. This makes the first quarterly decline in interest payments since 2020. However, the interest expense on the national debt is still twice as high as it was 5 years ago. So, I mean, that should be no surprise. But I love the fact that, you know, okay, I'll take it down right here. Like it says, 13.5 billion. Thank you very much. Currently, the government spends over $3 billion per day on interest. Insane. As a percentage of GDP, interest payments reached 3.7% and currently stand just below 1980s to 1990 levels. And I'm just going to leave the chart here for a second so you guys can see that, and you can see the little dip down here at the end of that chart for the pullback in the interest payments. I guess if we got to, you know, beside the fact that they're consistent, Joe, and we talk about that every week,
Right.
I'll take the fact that, like, okay, we're saving a little bit in like interest. You know, but it's still crazy the amount of interest we're literally spending on a daily basis, billions on a daily basis.
And for me, like, none of this makes sense. How can you owe yourself money if you're the one who prints the money? Doesn't make sense. You are in literally control of, just zero out your balance, start fresh. Like, it, I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb, but to me, it does not make any sense at all. And then same thing with income tax. If you can just print money, why do we need to give up some of our money because it's to help pay the roads and everything? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, again, there's a whole nother rabbit hole live stream. Where's BC Pork Corp? We need you in here railing about that stuff there, buddy. Inflation is theft, taxation theft, and then we're gonna just keep going down the line.
BC is so incredibly smart. Sorry to interrupt. BC is so incredibly smart. Yesterday, your second part of your series, dude was just spitting fire left and right. And there's a lot of this stuff, like the history and stuff, that I don't even know. And to me, like, I just want to know how to make money. But like all the stuff that he was saying, he just shooting at the top of the dome. He wasn't even looking at it or trying to look it up, or there was no cuts in there to where, he probably looked it up. Just, he knows all this stuff. And dude, your series, it's something that every person who's in crypto, whether you're only in it for the fundamentals or only in it for the technical analysis, in my opinion, they need to watch that series. There's a lot of really great information in there. So definitely check it out. It's premieres literally on Sunday nights. What time? Sunday nights? Eastern time?
7 p.m. Eastern.
7 p.m. Eastern. It's fire.
Right after Billy Goat Tails.
Yes, absolute fire. So check it out, guys.
Yes. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And you're right. Listen, that's just the overview, like the high level overview. And I had to break it up into two parts. So this coming Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern is part 2 of that interview, basically. And overview. And it's funny because Andrea was in the chat, and she and I ended up coming off the chat and going back and forth like over email and stuff like that, because she's like, oh my God, what about this? What about this? What about? And I'm like, man, if I started really diving into all that stuff, because I mean, she spot on with what she was asking about. But like, if we dove down all of those rabbit holes, holy crap, we'd have like 10 parts to the history of crypto. But she did send me a bunch of information. I'm thinking what I might do, because I'm noticing that as we're going over a lot of this stuff, that we're actually, there are rabbit holes we probably need to go down. So I'm thinking once I get the whole the overall series done, maybe I'll do like an advanced section, and we'll dive into some of those rabbit holes. So stay tuned for that. It's again still a work in progress. And as you're watching these, can I ask a favor for everybody here, the family that's here? If you see something or in the video, or you think something definitely needs to be expanded on further, throw it in the comments, send me a message, whatever it is, because I'm taking those notes and I'm taking it seriously. That's why, for Andrea, thank you. She sent me so much information. I gave it a quick glance, and I'm like, crap, I got to go back over this and more fine-tooth comb it. So I really appreciate all of that. So please feel free to do that. Thank you. And Joe, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate all of that. I looks like I missed a bunch in the chat. Sorry. Yeah, Joe does know, man. Joe's on fire. And again, we're going straight to his stream. So sit tight, guys. Sit tight. We're going right over there. BC Pork Corp saying creation of new money. Yep, exactly. What Joe's just sending and lending. Yep. Look at these guys. These guys are they got this chat going right now. I love it. And money at the end of the day is debt. Yes, amen. Facts right there. Facts. And yep, I get it. In it for the gains, not gonna lie. And hey, listen, we all came in for that reason, right? To make the money. Same. I mean, I'm glad I stayed for the mission, if you would. But yeah. And what they see, love it. I love it. Yes, BC Port Corp knows for sure. And so, yes, right here. She hooked me up, and she even messaged me again this morning. We definitely got to go and follow some of that up. Yeah, rabbit holes definitely need to be filled up. Oh, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Appreciate the chat, man. Appreciate it so much. All right. Let's keep going, though. Otherwise, we're going to miss Joe's live stream here as we don't get through the rest of everything. Joe, here's a follow-up from last week. You and I started talking about this last week with Celsius and Alex Mashinsky being sentenced. They were asking for 20 years for his involvement in what he did with co-opting everybody's money on the Celsius network. As you can see here, he was finally sentenced to 12 years out of the 20 that they were requesting for his involvement in all of that. And according to this, he broke down they got the artist rendition here in the courtroom. And I mean, listen, yeah, shame on you for getting caught, I guess, but I'm sorry. I wouldn't have expected it, man. Would not have expected it from Alex Mashinsky. You know, did he really need the money? I mean, he was the guy who pretty much put VoIP on the map. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But here it is. There's the sentence, Joe. We're closing the loop on what we started last week. So,
for those that don't know, in one sentence or two, what happened with Celsius?
Sure. Basically, Celsius Network, which, again, full disclosure, I got sucked in like everybody else. I was looking for that crossover from TradFi to DeFi and thought this was that way. But basically what he did was he set up the opportunity for people to be able to do much like we see even on Coinbase these days, to stake their crypto, get earnings from that crypto, to get loans off your crypto, collateralize those loans, that kind of thing. And basically, eventually, that all kind of came tumbling in, and people were unable to get their money off. And come to find out that, yeah, he was doing all kinds of shady practices is the long and short of that. And unfortunately, some people, everybody should be at the point where they've been able to get most of their money back. And when I say most, I'm talking like whatever the dollar amount was for when the court decided that okay, and it was something stupid. It was when, of course, we're in a bear market, so the money is crap. Yeah, and it was only paid out for those who haven't already done it in Bitcoin and Ethereum, no matter what assets you had on his platform. Just so you know, right. Bottom line is, yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of money, including myself. So,
and not only a lot of money, but a lot of people had money in there to where it was more than they could afford to lose, and
yeah,
they
amen
ended
to
up
that.
doing some pretty awful things to themselves. Because, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now, but because they lost all their money, like they literally had all their money in there. And this guy's crying over 12 years.
Yeah.
When the families were crying at funerals. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, facts, man. Facts. I mean, again, I can't speak to everyone who was involved in this thing. Let me just get this out of here. But I can tell you for me, for those who do show up to Crypto on the Rocks every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we do the DCA portfolio. That's money that eventually ends up going to my putting aside in a cold wallet for my grandkids. And yeah, so pretty much all the Litecoin that I had, gone. It's gone, just gone. That was supposed to be for my grandkids. So anyway, it's my fault. I take responsibility. I'm not trying to, it is what it is. you know.
Right.
Anyway, all right, let's keep going. Last week, Joe and I also talked about McDonald's. Remember, we were talking about McDonald's year over year store sales were down and everything was looking glum and that kind of thing. Well, here we go. Here's the next piece of this where they highlight. And Joe, I put this one on here specifically for you because I know you like Popeyes.
I love Popeyes.
And yeah, exactly. The bottom 75% of Americans are in a recession, this says. And again, this is George Gammon. And he's at this point, it's really not debatable. And then here's the headline from CNBC. Restaurant brands earnings miss as Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Hortons post same store sales declines. You better go get your Popeyes while you can there, Joe. Not looking good for Popeyes.
I'll tell you what, that's the worst news I've heard. That's worse than Celsius.
That's worse than Celsius. Oh man, that I saw that as I was debating on whether or not to put it in there, and then I saw Popeyes was one of them. I'm like, I got to put that in there for Joe. Joe needs to know.
Yeah, when it comes down to all this stuff, I mean, it kind of just makes sense. People can't even pay their light bill. They can't even pay their mortgage or their rent, and so the vacations, they're kind of coming down from normal people. Of course, the rich, they can still do whatever they want, but just normal people, and just to go to McDonald's or wherever, if you have a family of 4, that's minimum $60 minimum. How many times can you do that a week? It's too much. So all these companies, they're gonna see a decline, and it just trickles down the line. Well, now because there's less business, well then they don't need as much staff. So now there's more unemployment, and it's just literally a waterfall. And who's to blame from all this? Yeah, who's to blame? Well, in my opinion, the government, because they have us, to where everything is so highly priced because, well, they're inflating the money. So it's all a revolving thing. But if we can just put the money to a zero and start from there, which, Bitcoin might do that, or just say, what, the fiat, that was a mistake. Now we're trading, this pebble or whatever it is, whatever else
right, seashell.
But to where maybe even, like, here's a thought, maybe the government, and I know they would love to do this because then they can track us, but the government to make kind of their own coin, not so much a CBDC type coin, but their own coin, but it only has, just like Bitcoin, 21 million or 50 million or whatever it is, and that's it. They're not going to print anymore. That I think the government or any government should do, and because they see what Bitcoin has done, and if just think of the buying power and the strength of whatever they do, how strong it's going to be, because everybody knows that they can't do what they've been doing. They can't, inflate it.
It's falling apart at this point. Right.
And the only problem that people would have is that, well, now the government knows every single transaction I have, as opposed to money, because that's where the real criminals are at, because you can buy whatever with cash and you can't trace it.
Right.
So, but yeah.
And just like BC and I were talking about last night in that thing, stupid criminals using Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and that's where I got that from BC.
Yeah, it's like, come on now, come on. All right, listen, we got a few more pieces of bad news, I guess, and then we'll get into a little bit more of the good stuff, and then of course the call to help for the people of Alaska. So we're going to talk about that and try and help out citizens for selling money as we can. And again, don't forget, come on, smash up that like button. Appreciate you. Got a bunch of people on X. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you share this out. Thank you so much, everybody that is here. Real quick, just go and see if I missed anything in the chat. And yeah, Joe's on fire. Yeah, there you go. Here it is. JR is saying he's going to get all those losses back with the trades. I love it.
For those that don't know, JR is an absolute beast. I've been watching him, and dude just freaking kills it. So that's all I want to say. Dude's a freaking beast.
Well, and I love it. Listening on my Xbox and posting all kinds of stuff. in the Piper Academy Discord. So yeah, appreciate all of that. All right, let's get to it. Let's keep going here because we're heading over to Joe's stream in about 20 minutes. So here we go. The Kabisi letter. Now, to Joe's point about, people hurting and things just not going in the right direction, U.S. employers announced 105,000 job cuts in April, the highest in any April for the last 5 years. Excluding 2020, which we all know what was going on in 2020. We don't need to rehash that. So any April since 2009. Over the last 6 months, there have been 699,000, so 700,000 job cuts since the 2020 pandemic. Job cuts have been particularly high in the government sector. Thank you, Trump and DOGE, and followed by retail and technology. And it goes into that whole thing right there with DOGE, et cetera, et cetera. And again, here's the chart as we see it. And in fairness, and Piper talks about this all the time, a lot of these government jobs didn't exist. They put them on the books to inflate the job numbers. And when they do the revisions, here's where we go. Most people don't look at the revisions. That's the problem. They look at what the headline is and bam. Oh, look at that. We added whatever, 80,000 new jobs. No, you didn't. You put 80,000 jobs on the books that don't exist to go and inflate your numbers. And then when they get pulled off a month later, nobody even hears about that. So, this sounds bad. And there are other sectors outside of the government, as it highlights here, that are definitely cutting back. And again, consumer sentiment is down. And, recession indicators are up. So it makes sense why there would be layoffs looming on the horizon. Anything you want to add to that, Joe, before I go on to the next piece?
Just that, like, how much confidence can you have in the government when they are giving us reports that we base our overall understanding of what's going on in the country, yes, when they can easily, knowingly, it would be different if it was a mistake, but knowingly deceive the public by putting the stuff out there and then saying, oh, just playing, and then taking it back. And then so the numbers that we're actually seeing, are they the real numbers or are they manipulated? So there's so, like, before I got into crypto, I was blinded to all this stuff.
Sure.
I looked at Army Piper for the the larger economic view of everything. And then of course here, Crypto Coin Mindset, I come over here so that I can get more of just the, not so much like what is the crypto going to do? Is it going to go up or down? But just more of the what it come. I'm trying to say this. Everything that it's like a circle. It's like a sphere, and everything inside that sphere determines on all the layers that makes up the sphere. And without knowing about all this stuff, as far as the economy and the numbers, the job numbers, and everything else, like the center is me trading. And without knowing all those layers, like I can be blinded because I don't know what's going on in, outside of the center. So yeah, I appreciate you, CCM. Appreciate Piper.
Thanks, man.
And like, to me, this is really, really important. And to me, like I said, the government, man, and they can come. Like, if I ever show up missing one day, it's not because I left. It's because something happened.
Start looking for Joe.
Yeah. But what they want to do is they literally they want us under their thumb, and that's why it's so important to support channels like this and channels like Piper Academy, by always smashing the like, by always leaving comments, by watching the videos, watching the playlist. If it's a weekend and you're cleaning the house, put the playlist on the background. And then when you go into that room, make a comment, make sure you have the like button smashed, and then continue cleaning the house to where you can hear it in the background. But to me, like, these channels need to get out there. Yeah, that's all I got. It's so important because I just think it's really important for everybody, as a trader, as an investor, as somebody who's just getting into fundamentals or technicals. I think it's important.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, I know a lot of the people, especially that are probably here, just kind of lurking right now and listening to what we're talking about, probably get a lot of this already from Piper, and I know that some of it might be a bit repetitive, but here's the thing: as repetitive as it is, most people it's still kind of in one ear and out the other, as my grandmother used to say. You know, it's like it's just not. It's not getting absorbed and understood, and you know, you actually acting in relation to the information that you're hearing. It's just right. Yeah. The more you hear it, the better off.
And there's also like let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat when you hear from somebody and you trust them, you believe them. You know, it is what it is. And then somebody else says it, and now you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna act on it. I put a +1 in the chat, guys. If that happens, yeah, I'm that way. Exactly.
Yeah. And here you go, right here. There it is. Bada boom. Government is not the solution; it is the problem. Yeah. Yes. Facts, man. Facts. RMT is in the house. Appreciate you being here, man. Repetitive isn't bad. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what, RMT, to that point, and it's kind of funny because I've had this conversation with a number of like different YouTubers in the background, and it's like, you know, we do talk sometimes similar stuff, but sometimes you just understand better from someone else. You hit it, you click better with someone else. It's not because they're better than the next guy or whatever the case may be, but just it could be anything. It could just be the way it's explained. It could just be like, hey, look at this old guy, he must know what he's talking about. I don't know, whatever it is. It's just the fact of being, I don't know, it's repetition is the mother of learning. We'll go with that. All right, let's go on to the next, because again, we're 10 minutes out of going to Joe's stream here. So the next piece of information here: delinquency rates on commercial mortgages up 10.3% in April. Now, again, I if you watch Piper, you know this is no surprise right here, but I think it's good to be noted. Again, commercial mortgages we know they've been on the decline. Commercial properties, that kind of thing. Delinquency rates on these loans are up now 9 percentage points over the last 3 years. By comparison, delinquency rates hit 10.7% at the post-2008 peak, and we all know what happened in 2008. So the multifamily delinquency rates surged 113 basis points in April to 6.57%, the highest since 2015. Also not good news. Also bad. And overall, we know how difficult it is for housing rates at this point. And, you know, 10-year mortgage rates not going, yield rates not going down. I'm having a brain cramp right now. I'm going to leave this chart up, and it's just, I don't know. It's scary. It's scary. The delinquencies are going up, and unfortunately, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this and talking about a lot more of this. Crypto Jar is in the house, my friend. I hope the move is going good, my friend. I hope you're like settled in at this point. Hopefully, we'll be talking in the back side pretty soon, and getting back to Matrix Money podcast. And my brother, this is David saying, my brother is a mortgage broker manager, and according to my brother, they can't even get a business loan. Most businesses aren't able to qualify for the rates. Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, we've talked about that a number of times, or at least on my channel, on a number of different people. I think BC and I talked about that at one point. I believe actually on a live stream I did with BC and Piper maybe a month or two ago. We talked about that. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Jar saying, I am settled enough now. Okay. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. I'm glad to hear that. I'm excited to try and get back into Matrix Money podcast on Tuesday nights. So We'll be chatting. So stay tuned for that, everybody. All right, let's get on to the next thing right here. I guess it's time to bring in a little bit. Wait, what did I just do? Oh, there it is. A little bit more positive news. Oregon signs SB 167 into law, clarifying digital asset rules and legally recognizing crypto as collateral. Again, this is something that we've seen. The SEC was trying to trash using crypto as collateral. Banks didn't want to use crypto as collateral. And now we're starting to see states come from out of nowhere here saying, yeah, you can use your Bitcoin, you can use your Litecoin, you can use your whatever as collateral to get loans now in the TradFi sector. This is the right direction. This is huge news, if you ask me. Well, Joe, what do you think?
I'm right there.
I mean, I know it's just Oregon, but I think it's the move in the right direction for all of the states for that matter.
Yeah, I think it's huge.
Yeah. Listen, and it plays into what I've got queued up next, which is the OCC basically saying that, you know what, and for those who don't know, the OCC is the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. So they're the ones kind of regulating the U.S. dollar, that kind of thing, and how banks and financial institutions interact with that, where they talk about they're kind of releasing some of the stranglehold and permitting banks to outsource crypto assets, get involved in activities and that kind of thing. So I'm going to let, it's about a minute and a half long. I'm going to play it real quick, hear it from the proverbial horse's mouth, and then we'll go from there and chat it out and get to our last piece with helping citizens for sound money.
More than 50 million Americans hold some form of cryptocurrency. This digitalization of financial services is not a trend. It is a transformation. Here at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, we've confirmed that national banks and federal savings associations may engage in certain cryptocurrency activities responsibly in order to serve their customers. OCC-regulated banks may provide custody services, including the safekeeping and secure storage of cryptocurrencies and other digital assets, all on behalf of their customers. The banks we supervise also may buy and sell cryptocurrencies they hold in custody at their customers' direction. Additionally, these banks may provide other custody services, including record keeping, tax, or reporting services for their customers. OCC banks may use a sub-custodian to provide the same services, subject to appropriate third-party risk management practices. While a range of cryptocurrency and digital asset activities may be performed by banks and their third parties, I want to be clear that the OCC expects these activities to be conducted in a safe and sound manner and in compliance with applicable law. To learn more, please visit occ.gov.
Okay. I mean, how else would they be doing it? You know, but I probably should have cut before the end of that there. But again, huge news. We're seeing more and more regulators that deal in the TradFi sector saying, okay, crypto's here to stay. We need to bam.
It's a transformation from fiat to, I love it.
And this is awesome, BC, right here. My credit union told me I could use my proof of Bitcoin reserves to get a loan recently. Wow. And again, credit unions, remember their NCUA, I believe, is the group that oversees credit unions. And credit unions, again, I love credit unions. I prefer to use them versus these big
True.
banks like Bank of America, that kind of thing. So that's huge, BC. That is huge. And what's he say? Amen to that. It's about time old fogies get with the times. Hey, easy on the soul. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. All right, guys. We're going to be wrapping up here. I got about 5 minutes. We're going to be heading over to Joe, and I'm going to hit this, and then we'll let Joe. I mean, unless you need to leave earlier, Joe always has to reset his computer in order to do his own live stream. I don't know. Come in here, gives him the.
For some reason, my camera, I guess because it's tied to the browser, like it won't load up. And that just started happening. Like maybe I need to update my OBS, but that just started happening like a month or two ago. And but I do notice that the volume automatically turns down like 50%. I think it goes to like 60% or 50%. So whenever I go to my stream, so the very first thing I do is I gotta check the volume and then check the camera and then reboot the computer so they can do it. So yeah, it's some work.
Yeah, pump up that volume.
There you go.
Oh man. All right, let's bring this up. Again, Daniel Diaz, Citizens for Sound Money, asked, and he they reached out. Some people from Alaska reached out to him to get some help with this House Bill 1, which I think is amazing. Quite frankly, you know, Alaska HB1 number 1 would make gold and silver legal tender in Alaska and eliminate all local sales tax on precious metals. And that's a huge thing. A point he brought up during the Crypto on the Rocks this past Friday about trying to eliminate sales tax with regard to precious metals. So basically, they're asking for our help. And again, links to this are in the description of this live stream. So if you could contact your representatives over there in Alaska and help to support this bill and get it moving through and get positive support to get gold and silver as legal tender in Alaska, that would be great. And we'll keep you up to date, much like we did with Florida. Who is still waiting, as I am aware at this point, for the governor to sign that into law. But we've been following all of this to try and keep you up to date. And, you know, listen, we love crypto. We're in crypto. We're all in the crypto space, right? But there's other things beside crypto. And gold, silver, to me, obvious counterparts to cryptocurrency. So stay tuned. We'll be on top of this. Again, links in the description. So make sure that if you live in Alaska, you know somebody that's living in Alaska, or whatever the case may be. Matter of fact, if you're from Alaska, throw something in the chat. I'll be interested to see. And let's go. Let's help get that bill passed.
Yeah,
Joe?
Speaking about passing, you actually threw a perfect pass to me, and I just fumbled it. It was like, oh, yeah, I got to do this and this and this. And then I was like, wait a minute. That was my pass. I got to go. So I got to go. I'm going to reset my computer. We will see you soon. Everybody who's watching on X, jump over here on YouTube, and you'll be automatically redirected to my channel where I teach you for free. I don't get rich off of the members who are trying to learn how to trade. I show you how to trade for free. If you want access to me almost 24/7, and the call outs and the moving up the stop losses and just the monitoring of the market, then that's when you join the group. But you don't need to join the group to learn how to trade. So very important. So I'm going to get my stuff ready for everybody. Hang tight, and you will be automatically redirected to my channel. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, CCM. You're the best, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Joe. Always appreciate you. Always appreciate you. All right, we're going to be heading over there soon and rating his channel. When we do, don't forget, in the chat, you're going to put CCM Raid. Let them know where you came from. So let me give you a quick update on what's coming up for the rest of this week here on the channel, so you are up to date. So Wednesday, Joe and I will be live again, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So watch for that. Make sure you're here. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, myself, BC Port Corp, and Crypto Bedell will be live. We're going to be talking about the failure of the Genius Act making it through Congress, and how, you know, Trump's involvement was probably pivotal in that happening. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you join us. It's already ready. Make sure you join us. And then, of course, Friday night, always 7 p.m. Eastern time, Crypto on the Rocks. Now, again, for those who are here last Friday, if you missed last Friday's Crypto on the Rocks, man, you missed it. We did, it was impromptu, completely unexpected, all kinds of giveaways going on. I'm going to be reaching out to all of you within, hopefully, the next 24 hours, but definitely within the next 48, to get your information so we can get you your prizes for what you won. Lots of stuff went out. It was on fire. Make sure you're here this Friday, Crypto on the Rocks. Can't guarantee we're going to have all those kind of giveaways, but we will definitely be having some fun, if nothing else. And then again, this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, this coming Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right after Billy Goat Tales, will be the next installment, number 2, for crypto history in my newbie series, Unlocking Your Crypto Journey. And yes, there we go. Awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. All right. If you're here on YouTube, sit tight. I'm going to forward you on over. Don't forget, when you get into that chat, tell Joe, CCM Raid. Let them know where you're coming from. All right. We're out. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you again Wednesday, 11 a.m. and tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time.